Virtue is a habit in the same way that addiction is a habit, my friend, and in the same way that holiness is also a habit. We as humans are creatures of habit, my friend. We're so attuned to these patterns of brokenness, patterns of, forgetting. In the same way that it's very hard for us to change, my friend. That's why change is a very hard thing for us, because we're so used to the same routine over and over again. That's why it's so hard for us to get into the gym. That's why it's so hard for us to pray, and to live a holy life. But if you want to change anything, just as if you're going to a competition, if you're an athlete, my friend, or just like as you're preparing for a test, as a student, or just imagine yourself as a warrior preparing for this battle, this one and final battle that will come at the end of your life, the test, of your salvation. It's how you end, it's not how you begin, my friend. And along the way, that's where we're at right now. And the only way you can prepare for this final battle, this final test, my friend, is through practice. Okay? Virtue and holiness are practices of habit, my friend. And in order to get rid of those bad habits, you need discipline. Discipline means to get rid of your bad habits, my friend. And so don't think it's just a one-time thing. Just as Jesus' salvation is a one-time thing for all of us for the sake of our sins, your faithfulness, is a response. Your salvation is a response. And it's not just a one-time decision. It is something that you have to keep responding to, so that by the end of your life, when the time comes of your death, my friend, that you'll be ready. That's what we're preparing for. And it's not going to be easy, and that's why you can't just live an unholy and unvirtuous life and then think that at the end of your life you're just somehow going to be getting away with it, like the thief on the cross. That's not you, my friend. Don't see that as the goal to aspire for when you know better in this lifetime. Don't just go in thinking you can just do whatever you want, sinning how you like, my friend, and then at the end ask for forgiveness. Because the chances are, as a creature of habit, you're not going to be willing to ask for that forgiveness. That's why it said that many people, when they meet Jesus at the end of their days, they don't even recognize him. Because if you can't recognize holiness, what goodness and virtue, the truth itself, the word made flesh, my friend, if you can't see what that looks like, how are you going to recognize that? If you can't live that in your own life today, how can you expect to recognize him when you die? And so it's not going to be as easy as, just saying, I love you, Jesus, I trust in you, forgive me, and then all is going to be good. God knows your hearts. And so like the thief on the cross, he knew his heart. That's how Jesus saved him. Okay? But don't think that means that you can just disregard the rest of his commandments. When he says to be baptized, when he says to follow in his commandments, to eat and drink of his flesh and his blood, my friend. So if you're Christian and you haven't sought the truth, you're not seeking the actual truth in his church, my friend, the Catholic Church, the one and true Holy Apostolic Church, like Peter, who was his rock, was built on. It's going to be hard to develop this habit, my friend. I'm not saying that it has to be immediate. It doesn't have to be drastic, but you do need to start making those changes now. Right? That decision is what sparks it all, but your discipline is what's going to keep you at it. Especially when times are hard. And so you have to understand this, my friend, that we are creatures of habit. And when I said at the beginning that addiction is also a habit. In order to get rid of this addiction, to be free from this addiction, you have to replace those bad habits with good ones, so that you have no more time or energy left to spend, doing these silly things that are not benefiting your life, are not living a virtuous and good and holy life, my friend. So start filling your day with more prayer. And though you're going to be busy with your schedule, with school, with sports, with work, whatever it is, my friend, do that in a holy way as well. You just have to be intentional and to see your greater purpose. As long as you can get good at what you're doing, through hard work, and learn, right, how to have a good work ethic, to develop discipline, interacting with others and gaining their trust, so that eventually this is going to be your way of evangelizing in your life, my friend. By living a good and holy life, you're going to be able to spread that love to others and help them see that purpose too, my friend. So just understand purpose, right? Virtue, holiness are habits in the same way that addiction is a habit. And so you just got to keep practicing, showing up, and keep training, my friend, so that when the time comes, you will pass. Love you, my friends. Don't forget. Peace.